when I was not. And there was a time when you would get smut books, or there would be homosexuals in the environment. They're homosexuals. And mostly they'd perform oral sex on me. I'm telling you, I didn't seek them out, they sought me out. Because they liked me.
What's up, what it do? Welcome back to the channel, man. I'm Aryan Williams. It's the DC Blacks channel. We're gonna get straight into it. Now, I started this video with just a little clip of who John Greschner is in his own words and what he was running around the penitentiary doing. Now, this DC Blacks war beef is an old conversation. YouTube and content creation has allowed it to become YouTube has reawakened it with the advent of certain content creators. So I'm gonna just get straight into it. I've been writing about DC guys and their history in the federal system for maybe 20 years now. Before I started doing YouTube, I wrote a book called Lord and Legends that was published in 2010. I probably wrote the book in 2006. For those that don't know, I went to prison at 16. I came home at 33. I'm from Washington, D.C. While in prison, I wrote a couple books. Lord and Legend is one of them. In the process of writing Lord and Legends, I began to research and study the history of my older homies and what they went through. So in the process of learning different things, you know, I talked to people like Butch Woods, rest in peace, good man, Big Green, Lulu, Marshall Bay. I talked to Eddie Mavis. I talked to Fly. I talked to even Nate Bailey, like Coleman Bay, all the guys that was there at the time. So a lot of times when people that's into this prison genre, they see me talking on YouTube, some of them may wonder, damn, how did this guy know this? You know, he's not old enough to know this, but I am a student of history. Anytime I'm around somebody that knows more than me, have more experience than me, I learn from them. I get it, I acquire it, I apply it to the things that I already know. So I showed you that clip of John Greschner just to show you what he was about, because John Greschner want to run around talking about all the blacks are rapists, and the DC guys do this and the DC guys do that. I don't really want to get off track because I wrote down a few things that I had in my head that I want to say, so I don't want to go into all of them at the same time. But this video that I'm making right here is in response to not only this guy Up for Debate TV, who I hardly ever respond to directly because I just don't see no need to, but I mentioned him today because, as I mentioned in my live video when I was talking about this topic, this dude Up for Debate TV, not only is he a guy that misrepresents all the journalistic facts, he is Team Alpo. For those who don't know who Alpo Martinez is, he's a government informant that this guy idolizes. So I don't understand why all of a sudden he's on this warpath to say that, you know, someone else is a rat. He loves rats. He's in pictures with rats. He's in pictures with the dude Nate Boone Crab, the dude that told on the Best Friends. But nevertheless, he hopped on this John Greschner thing. And to me, I don't understand why you're using John Greschner as some type of credible source. First and foremost, he told you that he used to run around getting fellatio from the guys that sought him out to do that. That's what he was into, among other things. They try to act like the ABs don't play around with the boys. John Greschner did. I wasn't even into exposing that, but there's videos where he's saying that he used to run around and do that.
There would be homosexuals in the environment. They're homosexuals. And mostly they perform oral sex on me.
But I also want to address this guy, Sandman. Sandman ain't say too much bad about me personally, so this is not like a beef or like a rap battle with Sandman. But Sandman, you got something like 400 views on the video that you did on there. You got like 2,000, 3,000 subscribers, bro. I don't even think that your platform is the platform to be trying to wage this propaganda war. But I heard you, Sandman, I heard you say, what kind of person or who puts a person like Fly on a platform? Okay, you're entitled to your opinion, you can say that. But what is your platform about when you sitting over there talking to John Greschner? I heard you say something when John Greschner said that Aryan Williams is a rat and he gave up his partners on the murder beef. That is a lie. That is a lie that came from your man up for debate, who you didn't fact check, who put that lie out about me. He don't know nothing about me at all. And then John Greschner sitting on the phone talking to Mike. And for real, I did everything in my power not to disrespect Mike, but I understand that Mike is over there talking to John Greschner and y'all share these views. So since y'all share these views, it's fuck Mike and fuck John too, from me to you. But Sandman, you talking about why is somebody putting somebody on a platform? What are you putting John Greschner on your platform for, Sandman? He's a bona fide rat. The ABs don't rock with him at all, and he's in a Colorado state prison. I even heard John say something about other people with dropouts. You ain't seen John Greschner on YouTube, on the BBC, on the National Geographic, in the California dropout, y'all surrounded by rats? That's who you talking to. Why don't you ask John Greschner why he is in Colorado? I heard John Greschner say some things about people don't like me and what they think they know about me, but the government don't like me. The government liked you enough, man, to move you out of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. That's what they did do. But Iceman, whatever your name is, homeboy, stay out of my business, bro. I'm talking about journalism. I ain't even talking about no gangster shit. Stay out of my business because you don't know what you're talking about. You're over there talking to John Greschner about something that happened in Lawton. He said in Lawton, they said that they would do this to you and do that to you and send you to 3 block with fly. John Greschner got that from Team Alpo up for Debate TV, who all of his sources come from the Washington City paper, where they're quoting a guy by the name of Walter Harris. Just for the sake of, and I've been waiting to do this for a minute, I have the transcripts right here, Walter Harris transcripts, okay? So, Sandman, you got your information about Fly pertaining to the legal stuff that you posted, which I don't understand why you posted it and didn't read it, because if on the right-hand side of what you posted that you got from Team Alpo up for debate, it goes into the case that he had. And I'm not going to sit here and have to defend Fly or reiterate everything that I already did on a video where I went into the case, but you listen to John Greschner talking about someone had women kidnapped and abducted for 15 hours. Bruh, did you read the paperwork? That ain't what that paperwork said. So now I'm challenging your credibility, Iceman. And anybody who sent me the video and anybody who's watching Iceman, I don't got no problem with you watching Iceman. I don't have no problem with other people's platform. I got a problem with them perpetuating and propagating lies. He didn't read the paperwork because that ain't what the paperwork say. So Iceman, your credibility is shot. And if you're going to John Greschner as a credible source or a reputable source, he was never anywhere with Fly other than ADX, and in ADX, they did not come out together. John Greschner was tucked away in E unit, all the way in the back cell somewhere, and if he was in another unit where he was arguing with my homie Titus all the time, he was in another joint where he was arguing with my homie Pearl Early all the time. John Greschner, if we talking about gladiators or AB gladiators, even if you want to go back to the 80s or the 70s when he had put some work in, he is a shell of that man. He is a rat. His plaques are taken off the AB wall. The ABs talk about him like a dog, and now he's running around on the phone with Mike and other people trying to get some type of platform, and he's upset talking about why is the guy Eon Williams giving Fly platform? Or why is the guy Eon Williams from DC Blacks giving Fly a platform? I gave Fly a platform because I wanted to hear the things that he had to say that occurred back in those days, and for you to think that you're going to sit around and tell a story like you was in McNeil Island. And I heard Sandman ask the question about the Kansas City jail where Fly put hands on Tommy Silverstein. Well, guess what? I got the guy that was also there with him. So now you're going to say, I'm a liar, Fly a liar, and Lulu a liar too. That's because y'all don't know, because y'all think that Tommy Silverstein was some great white hope. I ain't here to shit on Tommy Silverstein. At least he wasn't a rat. But you're talking to John Greschner, and John Greschner is a bona fide rat. So I just want to touch on a couple things that I was thinking about when I watched the video, Sandman. And you could thank Up for Debate TV for, directing me there, because now you've gotten to a world that we can make some content back and forth. But I want to challenge everything that you said. Now, I already mentioned that when I first cut your YouTube channel on, you had the paperwork there. You took a piece of paper that came from a compassionate release that Up for Debate TV sent you because he's a Fly hater, he's a DC hater, he's a man hater. You understand what I mean by man? Anybody that didn't cooperate or compromise their integrity with the law, that's who he loves. He hates me. I'm cool with him hating me. I want all rats and people of his caliber to hate me. I take pride in an up for debate dude hating me. But in the process of him hating me, he's on a campaign to discredit anyone from DC. And now he's sitting on his platform and he tried to double back and say he was pro-black and he don't want to call John Greschner racist and this and that. Man, call it what it is. You don't want to say nothing bad about him because you think you're gonna get an interview, but you can't be pro-black. You can't be pro-black if you're gonna sit here on your internet platform and talk about black men at the behest of John Greschner, who you never even got an interview with. He probably won't even talk to you. So if I went to jail and I was accused of 14 homicides, but I got found guilty on one, why don't you go and talk about what happened at the end of the court proceeding? That's one thing for you, Sam, man. And if you did anything, because I don't think you can read case law. That's why you just went to that part. You didn't go to transcripts. You didn't go to motions. You don't know nothing. You don't know the docket sheet. If you went deep into the case, you would see that most of the people in the case recanted their statement. But I already made a video on that. I'm going to skip that. The other thing I wanted to say to you, you ran around and you said that Fly had convictions for rape outside of prison and rape inside of prison. You wrong. Your credibility shot again. The prison thing that you alleging was a sexual assault came from Walter Hurst. Once again, I'm going to do a whole video on his transcripts. Walter Hurst was a co-defendant of Fly who turned state's government witness and told on him. That not only testified against Fly, testified against his sister, and testified against other COs and Lord that were supposed to be a part of the organization. So, in this paperwork that I have right here, that I'm going to go into and do a whole video because it's separate, Walter Hurst, the guy that Up for Debate TV is quoting, the guy that Mike is quoting, the guy that John Greschner is quoting, the guy that Sandman is quoting, is a government witness. So all of y'all are wrapped up with rats. So I heard John Greschner made a point that Eon and Fly rats. Ain't no Eon and Fly no rats. Ain't nobody around that can say Eon nor Fly told on them. I'm not going to get that too much attention. But for sure, John Greschner is a dropout. For sure, John Greschner is a rat. For sure, Alpo Martinez is a rat, bona fide rat. Team Up for Debate named this whole little platform and this whole movement after rat. And he's in pictures with rats. Nate Boone Craft. And I believe Team Up for Debate is a rat in itself. He keep telling you he did prison time. He don't tell you what he went to prison for. He don't allow his jail history to be an open book. That's someone that has secrets to keep. Let me get to the other point. But nevertheless, Walter Hurst testified that they had robbed the Mexicans and then they went to war. He told another story in the Washington City paper. He didn't even tell that story on the stand. So them quoting a rat saying that someone had raped someone and that's how they beef came, that's because they give validity and credence to rats. Why do you think John Greschner has a whole platform where he could talk to Mike on Fellas Talk over and over and over again? Mike is dealing with a rat. He has no care or concern about it. He know John Greschner is a rat. Sandman, I don't know your background. I don't care about your background. You're talking to another rat. And Up for Debate TV, the guy that you keep referencing, I'm going to keep mentioning it, he is a rat lover. His platform and his whole shebang is named after Alberto Martinez. He is an Alpo lover. That's why he called his junk Team Alpo. Now, as I already mentioned, I'm going to just spit this out there again because I wrote it down to keep it in my mind. Sandman, you talking about what kind of platform do I have to give Fly a voice? What is your platform? Is your platform a rat platform? John Greschner is the biggest rat. You keep talking to him like he a bona fide AB right now. You even mentioned that he was an AB commissioner. Prove to me, not by AB word, not by John Greschner word, prove to me in paperwork where he was ever considered a commissioner. Where did you get that from? Is this a term that he made up? He's not even from California. And although I know I wrote this down later, so I might get back to it. Sandman, stop playing. Don't you ever say that the Crips and the Bloods won't allow this to happen and won't allow that to happen. We talking about in the feds. The Crips and the Bloods ain't do nothing about the ABs. And you got Crips and the Bloods in the feds today and back in the day that performed or participated in all other prison behavior just like other type of people. I ain't gonna say all Crips and Bloods, but don't you sit there and dare say what the Crips and Bloods won't allow on the yard. Now, John Greschner went into a whole colloquy of how the police used to scare young guys in Lawton and tell them, man, if you do this, if you do that, we're going to send you over there with Fly. And then Sandman went into that and doubled down on Sandman. You don't know shit. You don't know Fly. You don't know nothing about Lawton. John Greschner ain't never been to Lawton. Now, yeah, he met a guy or two that came from Lawton back in the 70s when they came in. But how could he ever tell you about anything that happened in Lawton in the 90s? Not that no one couldn't have informed John Greschner about Lawton, but he is not a first-hand credible source of anything that happened in Lawton. I don't have to say that 100 times. He never been to Lawton. He never been to McNeil Island. For y'all, now y'all want to quote what happened in McNeil Island with Gabby and Burry Mills and Ronnie Vicino. Like, I know the names. He don't even know the names that was there. Why? Because John Greschner wasn't there. He don't know nothing about McNeil Island. The only thing he knows is something he was told. That's why when y'all asked him about the ABs and the DC blacks that went to the Kansas jail with an escape plan, he couldn't speak on it because he don't know. Now, John, which I think I mentioned it, I just mentioned again, John says on Sandman's platform, and Sandman didn't fact check it, he said Eon, which is me, gave up his partners on a murder case. John Greschner, I'm not even gonna say he lying. He don't know. He regurgitating something that Mike said to him, that Mike got off the internet, that Mike did fact check. Anybody want to fact check it? My name is Eon Williams. My case is the United States versus Eon Williams. I went to jail by myself. I had no co-defendants, and the paperwork that they made up about me is so fake that the people that were the alleged victims in my crime is the people that they saying that I gave up and told on. It doesn't match the indictment. I'm not going to go back and forth over it, but this is my paperwork from my case, right? Let's see if I can just show you a little bit of it. But at the top of it, my name is by itself. This is my paperwork from 16 years old. And I ain't saying 16 years old as if, I was young and I didn't know. I'm saying that what they saying don't exist. I don't have a co-defendant. I went to jail by myself. That's the docket number. That's the name. United States versus Eon Williams. So, John Greschner, I've proven you to be another liar. Sandman, I've proved your channel and your platform to be giving incorrect information with just that part. Now, John says that I gave up my partners on a murder case. I just showed you that that was wrong. That was incorrect. Now, Mike informed John about me being a rat. Mike is almost 90 years old or something. Mike don't know me. Mike became aware of me because of YouTube. And I'm not going to go on and just, sneak dishing or bashing Mike. But Mike got other problems that don't, like he shouldn't be worried about me. But Mike, while you sitting out with it around in your mouth, you just made yourself an interesting topic for me. Mike, Felons Talk, rat lover. You know you're a rat lover. You've been a rat lover. And I don't know why you even sitting on the phone talking to John Greschner, that bona fide rat, about me repeating something that come from a whole network of rats. It's named Team Alpo. That's how I know you ain't about no action. Now, Sandman asked about Fly being on my platform. I answered that, but I'll double down on it again because really I'm just, this is just something that I just noted in my head while I was watching it. Again, I don't care how many times I said it, Sandman, why do you have John Greschner on your platform and y'all are talking about rats as if rats are a bad thing? If rats are a bad thing in your world, on your circuit, why are you talking to John Greschner? You got a rat on your platform, you quoting a rat, and guess what? He has no value when it comes to AB history other than telling it. When I'm saying no value, no one holds him no high esteem in AB history. And once again, Sandman, you keep stamping team up for debate, Team Alpo. You talking about he know what he's talking about. You must ain't fact check nothing he said. I mean, and I only watched one video on your channel, so now it makes me wonder, did you fact check anything you said, Sandman? Because every time I come with something, I come with a bunch of receipts. You gonna post something off the internet that he sent you and you ain't read all of it because you can't read, you ain't gonna read all of it because you don't want to read all of it. Now, why did I give Fly a platform? I gave Fly a platform because Fly spent I gave Fly a platform because Fly spent 50 years in prison, and I talk about the prison genre. I write about the prison genre, and he has a wealth of information just like everybody else that I talk to. But there are no interviews of me or know rats from back in the day, and I'm promoting them as such. You ain't read the case. You don't know what happened. I could tell you the whole case without even looking at it. So Sandman, in my opinion, you really just mudslinging, bro. Like, it's nothing you said that was new. Nothing you said was factual. And everything that you bought from clicks and likes from John Greschner, you ain't even had 500 views when I looked at it, homie. Like, that was a waste of your time. I already addressed what you said, Sandman, about the Bloods and the Crips. Don't let punks walk with them. That's not true. We ain't got to go into it because I ain't here to assassinate Bloods and Crips. Also, John, this goes for John. It goes back to Walter Hurst. John was never in McNeil Island. Fact check it. He never said he was because he knew he wasn't. But John said that Fly roughed off a Mexican sissy. That was John's words, not mine. The paperwork say something different. I'm going to go over the paperwork individually about Walter Hurst because I'm going to bring people up to speed of who Walter Hurst is, because this up for debate dude who has a thing of vendetta against Fly, DC, and all men from DC says that Walter Hurst knows this, Walter Hurst knows that. Walter Hurst is a liar. And I have two different transcripts, right, of his testimony. Not only is he a rat, his wife a rat as well. Oh, John Greschner. Once again for John Greschner, with your running around the feds, getting fellatio from all the guys that do that. That's what you was participating in, John. That's what you said you was doing. I don't take you serious at all. You was running around getting fellatio in the feds. And don't forget, you sitting there talking about what the blacks do. The ABs had Farrah Fawcett and Leavenworth. Barry Mills had the other gay guy, Davey something in Atlanta. Tommy Silverstein had the twin boys in Marion. I'm going to just stop there, bro. Don't play with me, bro. I know y'all history. I studied y'all. John says Fly has his stories about Atlanta wrong. I'm tired of you, John Greschner. I'm tired of Mike. Keep on sitting back behind the scenes saying somebody got the stories wrong. I asked y'all to address how the stories was wrong. Stanfield got killed about 4 to 6 months before Marslaw. Barry Mills didn't get charged with the Stanfield killing, which is why the Stanfield killing is not in the indictment, the RICO, when they list the 32 homicides and attempted homicides that the Aryan Brotherhood was charged with. Mike and John. So now I'm asking anybody who watch these channels, because these channels, the information that they give me, y'all, it ain't verified. Go ask Mike, Fellas Talk, Rat Talk, Sandman, Up for Debate, John Greschner, anybody. What did Fly say was wrong about the Stanfield killing to the Marslaw killing in Atlanta? Because I went and looked them up. Also, going back to the rats, Sandman, ask John Greschner why the fuck he is in a dropout yard. Not even like a federal dropout yard, like a Terry Huddle, one of them Jones. Not even the Jones he was in when he was with all the fake ABs, the Casper, the Mike Thompson, the other rat that came home from jail, the California AB that went back to jail. Why ask Sandman? And everybody else want to keep talking to John Greschner. Let's go for Mike. Ask him why is he in Colorado. Explain what he did. Explain what favors he got from being a rat, because Mike Thompson went home. Alpo went home. Rayful Edmond went home. Nicky Barnes went home. What did you become a rat for, John Greschner? We're going to go deep into this ABDC blacks, but I'm going to address the credibility of these content creators, man. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Free the men that came before me. Free the men that's after me, man. Long live the men, man. We ain't got time for you to be making up stories. Bring some receipts, bro. Bring some receipts. Like I got the Walter Hurst receipts right here that I know Sandman ain't look at, Up for Debate can't afford, and John Greschner don't care nothing about it. John Greschner, what you need to do, bro, you need to just go lay down, mind your business, bro, before they send your ass back to the Fed somewhere.